AI is thinking. It's really wonderful that it thinks about it, it solves the problem, and it instantaneously writes the code. So let's see if this really works out, whether the game really works. Let's try running it now. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it really works. Okay, we have something. Clicking on the mouse, yeah, it does work, surprisingly. No super users. So in this video, we're going to see how to set up OLLAMA locally, which is a LLM running locally using OLLAMA, which is an open source llama. So as you know, llama is developed by Facebook or Meta, and now we have so many open source models that are available here at our disposal. So we'll see how to get started with this. So you can download this for different operating systems, Mac, Linux, and Windows. And once you download it, you can go ahead and install it. Yeah. So once it's downloaded, you'll see OLLAMA.app, which you can move it to applications, which will eventually install your OLLAMA in your Mac. So once that is done, you can go ahead and start OLLAMA, and once you do that, you will see that it is running in the background. So how do you know the OLLAMA is successfully running? You can open your terminal and just say OLLAMA, and you can even say OLLAMA version. Yeah, so it is successfully installed. So once that's done, now you can go to the models page, and you can download several models which are available, and there are quantized models as well. So if you don't have enough CPU or GPU power to run those large language models, LLMs, you can still download quantized models. So what does it mean? Quantized is basically something like a compressed or minimalized version of these LLMs, large language models. As you know, LLMs are kind of generic, like say ChatGPT. If you ask it questions or queries regarding different subjects, it can handle all of them. So it is a general purpose model. However, these models can be trained to do specific tasks. So in our particular example, we are going to take a look at an open source. So let's try pulling one of such models, OLLAMA. OLLAMA is a very good model which can be used, but in my personal experience, I've not found it very useful to solve very complex coding challenges, and most of the models are censored. So if you ask it to say find open ports on a particular network to assess the vulnerability, might not help you do that. So there are uncensored models as well. So let's take a look at one such model. So Dolphin Llama 3. This is what we're going to pull. So it's very similar to how Docker works. If you have worked with Docker, if you want to pull an image, you say Docker pull and you give particular image, and you can also say Docker run and the image name. So it will eventually pull the image and then run it. Similarly, we can do OLLAMA pull and OLLAMA run. You see here, this is an uncensored version. Dolphin is uncensored. The dataset has been filtered to remove alignments and bias. This makes code more compliant. So this is what we're going to do. And there's an 8-bit, there's a 70-bit. So by default, it is 8-bit, which is smaller compared to the 700 billion. Sorry, it is 8 billion and 70 billion parameters. So the 7 billion parameters is 4.7 GB. So this is what gets downloaded by default. So let's pull this. I have already pulled it, but you can run OLLAMA pull or OLLAMA run followed by the image or the model that you would like to run. Also, you can take a look at the activity monitor, and you might see spike up in the memory or GPU because LLMs primarily use GPUs to address the queries. So here you can just try timing right now. Yeah, so it's pretty fast because I have a M2 Mac Pro chip, and yeah. So yeah, it did give us a response. So let's see how we can integrate this functionality to help us code. So to come out of this, I can say /exit. So there are several ways how we can go about doing this. We can install a plugin called as Continue in VS Code, which will help us to integrate with different LLMs locally or on the cloud. And we can also install a tool called as Aider. So Aider helps us to connect to different LLMs. We have OLLAMA, which we just downloaded. It also gives you Gemini and a few others. And I have tried out Gemini, which is pretty good. Definitely sometimes better than OLLAMA. And we have groundbreaking AI, which is called as Claude AI, which you would have heard of, Claude AI 3.5 from Anthropic. So this is free to use on the cloud, and you can sign up and you can log in and you can ask it to generate different kinds of coding challenges, and which will help you really well. We will try this out on a different video, so make sure to subscribe and follow us. In this tutorial, we're going to see how we can integrate Aider along with Gemini. So let's get started. So first, to install Aider, you can do pip install aider.chat. So the best recommended way to do this is to set up your own virtual environment for Python and install the version of Python that is required, and then install these dependencies and the requirements. So to do that, you can set up Mini Conda, and in the Mini Conda, you can create different environments and then do the installation. So if you want to find out how to set up Mini Conda, I have a video how to do that. It's in the description. You can take a look at that. You can pause the video, install Mini Conda, and then come back to this. Let's create a new Mini Conda environment for Aider. So how we do that is we say Conda create name. I'm going to give it as Aider, Python 3.7 or higher. Yeah, so I'll go with the latest version of Python, which is 3.11. Say S. So it will create a new virtual environment for you, the given name. And once it's done, you can activate by saying Conda activate Aider. So it's switched to the new environment, and you can check the version in this environment, which is 3.11. Perfect. So let's install Aider. Say pip install aider.chat. We download all the required dependencies, and once it's done, we can link it to the API key. So if you are using Anthropic API or ChatGPT, which is OpenAI API key, both of these will require a subscription plan. It might need to use your credit card. However, Gemini by Google gives you a free tier, which helps you to use their API. So to do that, you can head over to Gemini, just search for Gemini API. You will have to log in. Yeah, so once you log in, you can go to Gemini API, click on Get API Key in Google AI Studio. So you can click on Create API Key, which will create a new API key, and you can go ahead, copy it, and add it to the environment variable. So you can click on this Create API Key, and you can choose an existing project, or you can even create a new project. You can choose an existing project and click on Create API Key. So do not share this with anyone, and copy this. I will be deleting this API key once the video is uploaded. Add it to the environment variable. You can do something like export the API that you're using and the API key. So to find out for Gemini, I can just go here, click on Gemini. So this is the environment variable I have to use. So this is the command that you'll have to use for Mac or Linux, export command, and for Windows you can use setx. So let me do that. Let me just say, so it's exported. You can check by doing an echo command followed by $ and a key name. Yeah, so this is the API key, which is set correctly. So now to start Aider model name, which is Gemini/Gemini 1.5 Pro latest. So once I do that, Aider starts. So how Aider works is it will need a directory which has Git initialized. So what we'll do is we'll open VS Code, we'll create a new directory, initialize Git, and we'll take help of AI to code a simple project. Yeah, so I've created a new folder called as aider test, and I'm going to create I'm just going to do Git in it. Git is installed on default on macOS. So I instantiated a Git folder here, and we are good to run Aider here. So we can just run the same command here. So it says Aider not found, which is the expected result because Aider is installed inside a different virtual environment in Conda. So to find out that environment, we can just say Conda env list. It'll tell you all the environments which are installed here. There you go. So to activate, you can just say Conda activate Aider. So now we have switched from base to Aider, and we can run the command Aider -- model and the model name. Yeah, so we are inside Aider. We can ask it to create any program, and it is as good as the API that we connect to or the AI that we connect to. Different models and LLMs that are disposable to connect to. I've connected to Gemini, and we will also connect to the local LLM that we had just set up. So let's create a program. Let's ask it to create a program. So let's ask it to create a game, create a Tetris game using Python. Use the necessary libraries, create a beautiful interface, ask questions if required. So the reason I added this is ask questions if required. Is if it needs any additional input, it will ask us and it will help us to customize further. So it says API key is invalid. Let's find out why. So as you can see, when I do echo Gemini key, it just doesn't have any value. So I believe we'll have to persist this on a different file. So to persist this permanently, we can persist it to this particular file. So as you can see, there are already a lot of environment variables set and conditions set here. So let us add our API key here. Yeah, and you can exit, save. Now we'll try running aider again. Now it should run without any error. Yes, it does. So now we can ask it to create a game. Any questions? It still does say API key is not valid, so I still will have to check what is going wrong here. As you can see, we'll have to restart the terminal. We had updated the zs.hrc file, but we didn't restart the terminal. So let's restart the terminal and let me do the echo command and I should see the API key. Yes, now we do. So when we run the aider now, again, we'll have to switch to the environment on the activate aider and we'll check for the environment variable. Yes, you can run the aider now. So the reason I'm showing you these mistakes which happened in the video is because it might help you when you do the setup yourself. You might encounter these errors and it might help you. So if this is helpful, do subscribe and like the video, and let's try creating the game now. Yeah, so it's the AI is thinking. It's really wonderful that it thinks about it, it solves the problem, and it instantaneously writes the code. So let's see if this really works out, whether the game really works. So in real time, you can see what the code is getting generated, and once it generates, it also commits by default. So it's asking allow creation of new file. Yes, attempt to. So it encountered few errors while running it, and it is asking us whether it should attempt to fix it, and I'll just say yes. So it's good that it creates the program, it tries to run it, and when it encounters an error, it tries to resolve or debug by itself, which is really good. It comes in, it's really handy for the programmer, for the developer. So it also says what was the error and how to fix it, and it does that. Yeah, so now we have a new file that is created, which is the code. So let's try running it. I'll open up a new terminal. We'll try running the program. So it says no module pygame. I believe we'll have to install that. So let me do install the game and let's try running it now. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it really works. Okay, we have something. Clicking on the mouse, yeah, it does work, surprisingly. I'm not very surprised. These APIs, the AI is very capable. Yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can, whether it does any error handling. Let's try to see if the game gets over. Yes, it does say game over. Press R to restart, and it also displays a score and a level. So all of these details were handcrafted by the AI, and we didn't have to specify these basic details, which is very impressive. So let's try building the exact same game using the Dolphin OLLAMA. Let's see that. So if you remember, we already have OLLAMA installed, and we also have the Dolphin Llama image, which is already there, which we can integrate to our aider. So let's see how we can do that. And go to the OLLAMA here, yeah, and it says OLLAMA serve. If your OLLAMA isn't running, you can run this command, OLLAMA serve. In our case, it is already running. If you look at the toolbar, it's already running. So all we have to do is we have to set the environment variable again in this manner, and basically the URL, the host name, and the port number will be same. You can verify that by running OLLAMA serve. It will give you the host name, which is the local host, followed by the port number. So this is what we're going to configure in our environment variable. Copy this, and let's also remember to update our configuration file, zshrc file. It's from here to the bottom. And remember to restart the terminal for it to take effect. I'm going to close this, start a new terminal, and we're going to switch to our Conda environment on the activate aider. Now we're going to say aider model and the model name. So let's see the model name. So in our case, it is OLLAMA / Dolphin. There you go. So now we aren't using Gemini, we are using the local LLM, which is hosted on our own system. So let's ask the same question. Let's ask it to create a new Python game. Let's see how the game is designed and developed. Create a Tetris game. It is letting us know how it is going to do that. It says install pygame, create a new Python file, import the necessary libraries, and as it describes what is the game plan, and it also implements what is being outputted there. So Aider helps a programmer like you and me to build things much quicker, especially taking the most powerful AI with Python. It adds incredible value to the developer community. There is an interesting feature in Aider, so you can add multiple files to the aider.chat so that it is added to the context. So you can add multiple Python scripts or different kinds of JavaScript files or different languages, and it will be able to read those files, aggregate the data, and work on those files. Program is written and the file is created. Looks like it overwrote the existing Tetris program that our Gemini created, and there are few files created here. I'm not sure why this is. Looks like these shouldn't be created. For some reason it was created, but let's open up a new terminal and let's try running this program, see if it works. Yeah, we are running the program generated by the OLLAMA Dolphin Code Llama 3. Let's see if it runs successfully. I don't see any program running here. Okay, it did run briefly and then it gave this error. So yeah, in the first try it did not work, but let's copy this error and tell it to the Aider, the error, and let's see if it's able to resolve that. Okay, got this error on running the Python file. I guess it is trying to resolve the error. It's installing a new package called as Playwright, and it's installing dependency. So Aider exited by itself for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let's try running Aider again on the local model, and let me try running the Python program. It still says current color is not defined. I believe it's a very simple error. There is no definition to this. That is the reason why it's getting the error, but the local model, the Dolphin Llama, is not able to figure that out. But let's try giving the error once again to the Aider. Let's see if it's able to resolve. Let me add the file to the context. I'll say /add. I'll just say add Tetris.py. It's added to the context, and now we'll say getting this error. So the mistake I did last time was mention add a file name followed by the error. So it has to be independent. You have to say /add the files that you want to add, and then it will enter into that prompt, and then you can mention the error that you're facing. Now it shows another error. It says grid is not defined. So as you can see, the local model is taking a lot of iterations, while Gemini AI didn't take as many steps. We gave it a prompt and then it developed a game, and then the first time before it even ran, it encountered an error, and then it was able to rectify it, and it was really fast. And Claude 3.5 Sonnet is even more powerful. I've seen it myself, and we are going to see it in another video, the upcoming video, how to use Claude 3.5 to create amazing applications. So make sure to subscribe and like this video. Let's give this a try one more time, and if it doesn't work out, we'll wind it up. The main reason for this video is to understand how effectively AI can help us code with minimal effort. And as you can see, Gemini is pretty good, and of course ChatGPT 4.0 will be even better, and Claude 3.5 is really good, and we will take a look at it soon. Attempt to fix the error, yes. It found another error which it's trying to resolve. So let's try running it. So as you can see, there are still some errors and certain iterations needs to be done with help of Aider, and also a developer will have to take a look at this code. So in conclusion, I'll say Aider is a very powerful tool. It depends on the AI model that you connect it to, and if you see here, it says Aider works best with these models: GPT-4o, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which I have tried myself. I made to integrate it with the VS Code or Aider because it requires, the API requires a subscription. So subscribe for that. We'll see a video on this very soon. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, and do give us a like. And there are plenty of educational materials available in the description on DevOps and Linux and several other topics. Thanks for watching. Ciao.